Okay, what's going on? We got earnings on quite a few companies, but I'm going to go over two of them. Share my screen. Welcome. This is the Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. And the two stocks reporting today, there's a whole bunch reporting today, but the two I'm going to cover is MELI, ticker symbol MELI, and AXON, AXON. So these are the two reporting. Let me go to 5-minute chart here. 5-minute chart. Okay, both stocks had a pretty good day, as did the overall markets. Whoa, there is the closing bell. Let me shut down my Thinkorswim because that was pretty loud in my ear there. Okay. So both of these stocks are supposed to report at the same time. Let's just take a look. So AXON, Michael Anthony on YouTube, you would like to see a PD close at 650 or over that, has high volume. If anyone knows any pinch plays, always move to the 20-day average. That's 815 at least. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I can take a look at that after I get through this earnings here. But AXON reports, supposed to report right at 4, so the data is probably coming out any minute. Rocket said the close on SPX was 68.90. Okay, yeah. No, you did good job with those put credit spreads. Should have made some, you probably got max gain on those, I would think. So AXON forecast EPS $1.60, forecast revenue $753.6 million. Just a quick look at their annual chart here. Kind of been all over the place, trading from 400 all the way to above 800. So this thing's been in a pretty big range the past year. The other one is MELI, MELI. Their forecast EPS 11.77, forecast revenue 8.5 billion, and they've been trading in a pretty big range as well, like 1,800 all the way to 2,600. This is a 1-year chart from Earnings Whispers. Let's go back to the sticks. Okay, we're getting reactions on both stocks. MELI is the bigger stock of the two. Look at this thing flying. Well, it's up $50 a share right now. It closed the regular session at $1,920.06 a share. Was up about 3% on the day. S&P up 0.77% today. NASDAQ up over a percent. The Dow was up 0.75%. The VIX was down. VIX is below 20 now. So here we go. We're getting the reactions on both of these stocks. So the data hit at the same time for both. And let's see if I got some results, and we'll go over the results. We'll find out when they're going to do their earnings call with the higher ups. So far, both of them getting a positive reaction. MELI's up almost 5%. AXON's up almost 3%. So MELI outperforming out of the two. And let's take a look here. I'm going to go to wow, look at MELI still going. Wow, MELI's up $125 a share, up 8%. This thing's flying. Almost makes me wonder if they're going to do a forward split soon. I mean, this is a $2,000 per share stock now. Wow, this thing is flying, up $170 a share. It's looking like a grats to the MELI bulls, that's for sure. Up over 9% now, still going. This thing's going to be up $200 a share, folks. But here's their revenue was up 45% year over year. They did miss EPS by a little bit, but they did a great job beating revenue. Here's a little graphic here from the earnings correspondent. So slight miss on EPS, but great beat on revenue. And the revenue's up 45% year over year and up 18% quarter over quarter. So investors definitely liking the revenue numbers here. And what time is it? 4:03, a little after 4 o'clock. And for let's just see what kind of condition the company was in going into the earnings. So trailing 12-month PE ratio of 46, EPS nice and positive at 40.9. They do not pay a dividend, The float's only 46 million, so it doesn't really take a lot of volume to move this. And past 5 quarters, back-to-back quarters, all positive net income. That's great. I mean, there's a reason why they're trading up here around $2,000 a share. Debt to asset 83%. That's fine. Cash and equivalents as of September 30th, 6.3 billion. So this is just a powerhouse of a company here. And for those that don't know, they're in software and IT. That's the industry they're in, software and IT services. But wow, okay, it just came back down to 2,000 a share, but still up 3%. AXON. Let's finish up with MELI real quick. I want to check a few other things, and I want to post the results in the comments for everybody. Tammy says you're waiting on Zeta earnings. You have a small position with Zeta, Z-E-T-A. What time do they report? Let's see. Zeta. Here we go. Okay, they're supposed to report like right now. Earnings Whisper says 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Forecast EPS 24¢. Forecast revenue 380 million. Let me take a look at them. Okay, so MELI still holding up. Let's finish up with MELI. So they missed EPS, but they beat revenue, and the year-over-year numbers for revenue up 45%. Investors are liking that pretty good. We have another runner. That's right. And the implied move for MELI is almost 7%. So you got to figure if it closed regular session at 1920 times 7%, that's like $134 per share move. It's up about 125 a share, so kind of right around the expected move with what was being priced in. Let's see what else we got on MELI. MELI. Okay, here's some more data on MELI. We already went over the fact that the revenue was up 45% year over year. And let's see here. Yeah, I mean, that's the main thing with MELI is the 45% growth on the revenue. That's what investors are really liking right now. And with the Panama Canal now in U.S. control, this is pivotal for this stock here. It was just above its 52-week lows going in, but yeah, it's up about $80 a share right now. You find out when they're going to do their call. I'll get that information for everybody, and then we'll go over to AXON because that one's getting a nice positive reaction as well. Let's see, MELI. Okay. All right, so here's the link to their investor relations page. I'll put that in the comments for everyone. If there's any MELI investors out there that wants to take a deeper dive into this earnings, there's the link for you. And let's just see here when they're going to do their call. Let me scroll down a little bit. Okay, events calendar. Let's check the press releases first. Okay, fourth quarter 2025. So this is the PDF document right here. It's only 2 pages long, so they didn't really go into much detail there on that. But let me go to the event calendar, and MELI's actually coming back down now. It's still up from where it closed the regular session, and I'm not showing when they're going to do their earnings call. They didn't list it on their investor relations site yet. So not too sure when they're going to do their call. Let me just check one more time. Okay, so here's the right here. Maybe it said it on that 2-page PDF document. Let me go back there under oops, fourth quarter results. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, here it is here. So they're going to do their earnings web call at 5 p.m. Eastern. And look, that bullish move they just had totally got faded. It's come all the way back down, trading just above where it closed the regular session. So bulls aren't out of the woods yet. It's come all the way back down now. 5 p.m. Eastern is when they're going to do their call. So about another 50 more minutes for that. So we know when they're going to do their earnings web call. We know they missed EPS, but they beat revenue. They had great year-over-year growth on the revenue. They had a nice bullish move, and that whole move got faded. Now it's back down to where it closed the regular session. So the verdict is still out on the stock on what the reaction is going to be. I seriously doubt it's just going to be flat. But initial move positive, then came all the way back down, and now there's more buying coming in. So a little bit of indecision going on here with MELI. Let's go over to AXON. And going into the earnings, their PE was at 140. Seems a bit high, but maybe that's normal for their industry. EPS is positive 3.15. They do not pay a dividend. 75 million float. Wow, AXON's up over 17%. This one's actually outperforming MELI now. And income statement, the last earnings they had, they didn't pull a positive net income, but they did previous to that. Debt to asset only 54%. They got 2.4 billion in cash and equivalents. This thing's flying though. Look at this. Wow, they're up 82 bucks a share. They closed the regular session at $442.51, up 4.5% on the day. And now they're up almost 19%. Wow. After I check this one, I'm going to look at PD for Michael Anthony on YouTube. And then I'm going to look at Zeta for Tammy on the Discord over here. Let's see what's going on with AXON. Holy cow, they're making a really big move here. Let me go here. Okay. So AXON just delivered a massive Q4 and cleared the bar across the board. With Carol Kozicki on X. I'm going to look at their investor relations page though. So the estimate for revenue for AXON was 755 million. They reported 797 million. So they beat revenue. And this is looking like a nice solid double beat by AXON. And for those that didn't know, that they're an aerospace and defense company is the industry they're in. I know a lot of traders and investors have been trading aerospace and defense companies lately. But the estimate for EPS was $1.60, and they just reported 2.15. So solid double beat by AXON. Post this in the comments for everybody. AXON dipped before the earnings. See the daily chart. Yeah, look at that. Wow. They were trading up in the 600s there, Paul. Came all the way down to just below 400, and here they are now, up back into the 500s. So they've retraced almost half of that selling move already. Wow, that's amazing. AXON earnings. Let me post this for everybody. Okay, so that's I'm going to put this in the comments on YouTube and X and everything as well. Got about almost 300 people tuning in between YouTube and X. We got a nice little cozy group here in the Discord. Let me go back to TradingView. So MELI completely faded that whole move. Still undecided right now. I mean, for the bulls, I mean, I guess it's not bad because it's not red, but totally retraced that whole positive reaction, and now it's trading just above where it closed at. So the verdict is still out on MELI. They're going to do their earnings web call at 5 p.m. Eastern in about 45 more minutes. but double beat by AXON. And for the fiscal year guidance, this is another reason why AXON is kind of rallying right now, rallying pretty good right now, is the fiscal year 2026 guidance. The street estimate for that was $3.4 billion. They raised it to 3.6 billion. Okay, so that's probably, I mean, not only did they double beat, they beat revenue and EPS forecasts, but they raised the guidance for the year, for the fiscal year. That's huge. Investors are all over that. So they were like a pure hardware company. They've kind of been transitioning to a sticky software. So wow, that's pretty impressive by AXON. Double beat and they raised guidance. It's taking a little breather right now. Let me throw a fib on this thing. Right there and there. Okay, taking a little breather right at the 25% retrace, right around 505 a share. This thing closed the regular session at 442 bucks and some change. Taking a little breather right now, but definitely a grats to the AXON bulls because they increased the guidance and they double beat. So that's just amazing. Congratulations. Let's look at let's talk about some more highlights with AXON. They got pretty good international revenue growth. They got good gross margin trend, hardware versus software, bookings and backlog, free cash flow conversion, execution of strategic programs and long-term contracts. This is a good company. This is a good company. And let's see here. Let's find out when they're going to do their call. It's almost 4:20. And then we'll go over some of the viewers' requests. Michael Anthony wants to look at PD, and Tammy wants to look at Zeta. So we'll look at those two. Let's find out when they're going to do their call, AXON, since that's the ticker that's in one of the tickers in the description. Let's see. There's the link to their investor relations page if anyone wants to take a deeper dive into AXON's earnings. And it's holding up right above this 25% retrace, so it's right around 505 a share. Let's see. MELI is still thinking about what it wants to do. Again, their earnings web calls at 5 p.m. Eastern, so maybe when they do that call, investors get more clarity and it maybe goes back up. But what a wild initial positive reaction, and then it just came all the way back down. It's almost a $2,000 stock here. AXON. If you go to that link I posted in the comments, you can get the shareholder letter and take a deeper dive into their earnings. I'll go ahead and click on that. So the software and services revenue grew 40%, which is pretty impressive. And their 2028 target, revenue target for annual revenue is $6 billion now. And again, they raised the outlook for this year, projecting 27% to 30% revenue growth. So some key milestones for AXON: delivered $2.8 billion in annual revenue. That's up 33% year over year. Surpassed $1.3 billion in annual recurring revenue. That's up 35% year over year. Annual bookings of over $7 billion. That's also up double digits. Future contract bookings of $14 billion. That's up double digits. And they say our momentum is accelerating as we enter 2026, supported by disciplined investment, strong product market fit, and deep trusted relationships with our customers. We expect 2026 revenue growth of 27% to 30% with an adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, and depreciation margin of 25.5%. And then they talk about the 2028 revenue forecast of $6 billion. So wow, that's amazing. They knocked it out of the park. I want to find out when they're going to do their call. Probably going to be under events section right here, events and presentations. Okay, so their earnings web call actually starts in 10 minutes. Right here, Tuesday, February 24th, 4:30 p.m. Eastern is when it starts. So if you go to that link, if you're an AXON investor, if you go to that link in the comments, it'll take you right to the website I'm at now. And then just go to events, and you'll see it right here. It's a little hyperlink that'll take you to the webcast. That starts in 10 minutes, okay? So let me go over the other two. I want to go over PD from Michael Anthony on YouTube. Did they have earnings today, or is that just one you're kind of interested in? PagerDuty was the name of the company. And let's look at the daily chart real quick. Yeah, they've been downtrending since November. They were trading sideways from April to November. That would have been a sweet iron condor trade, I have to say. Draw a box around this thing. Right here, April to November. I mean, that is an iron condor trade if I have ever seen one. I made some good money on that last year. I mean, of course, everything's better in hindsight, but still, that's the price action you want to look for trading iron condors. Try and maybe get it half, make sure it's trading sideways first, and then maybe get in halfway through the move and you'll be good. But yeah, PagerDuty been downtrending since November. They have earnings on March 12th. March 12th. Let me look at a few other things here on PagerDuty. So they do have a positive PE ratio, so that's promising. EPS is also positive, so not bad. And income statement. Yeah, I mean, it looks like they were having trouble pulling a positive net income, but they've since got out of the hole. And now it looks like they're producing positive net income, and the year-over-year numbers look great. So keep your eye on PD. Debt to asset 66% and trending down, so that's good. They got like $500 million in cash and equivalents for a $6 stock. That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, the fundamentals and financials don't look bad at all. They're from Michael Anthony on YouTube. And just looking at the daily chart, I'd like to see some more daily candle prints that this has bottomed out. And then, of course, you got the catalyst on March 12th, which is their earnings. So, for the PD bulls out there, maybe the worst is behind it. You're going to have to wait and see how they react on March 12th to their earnings. But the fundamentals and financials don't look bad. But yeah, this stock looks like it IPO'd around in the 30s back here in 2019. It came down to 12, then back up into the 50s, then back to 20. I mean, it's kind of been all over the place. Weekly chart definitely needs some love. Like I say, it's on the weekly chart, it's basically been downtrending for almost 3 years. So that's a little concerning. But maybe the worst is behind them. For me, I'd be interested in their earnings reaction that's coming up here soon on March 12th. But they've been oversold on the daily chart all month this month. And RSI hasn't been that low in a long time. So this very well could be oversold, undervalued down here. I personally probably wouldn't take a nibble on it until the RSI on the daily chart got back above 30. Because just because the RSI is below 30 doesn't mean, okay, let's buy. Once it goes down below 30, that's a signal. Hey, could be undervalued or oversold. The signal for me is when the RSI gets back above 30. That's a good signal for me. So that hasn't happened yet. So just my opinion, I'd be waiting for the RSI to get back above 30 on the daily. You might have to sacrifice some of the reversal move when that happens. But that's just to ensure you're not catching a falling knife, and you should start seeing some higher lows start printing, and that could be the signal there. Let's look at Zeta for Tammy over here in the Discord. Zeta, let's take a look. And they had a big day today. They were up 13%. They should have reported earnings here at 4:05, like 20 minutes ago. Looks like their reaction was kind of mixed, but they were up 13% today. I wonder if that was insiders, knowing that the earnings was going to be good. Tammy said she's got a small position in it. Let's take a look and see what the their forecast EPS was 24 cents. This is for Zeta. Forecast revenue 380 million. For the past year, they've been trading from like 10 to 25, basically. Let's see Zeta. Okay, so AXON, their earnings web call is starting in 5 minutes. I did put the link in the comments to anyone that wants to go watch that. And Zeta beat revenue. And they did have a positive net income at $6.5 million. So that's good. Let me post this for Tammy. I'm going to actually post the outlook and everything for you. Let's see. Here we go. Here, this is for Tammy. There you go. There's a nice little breakdown for you. And I'm going to post this on YouTube as well. So pretty good revenue beat. They beat revenue by almost $20 million. It's pretty good. This is for ZETA. Got the chart on the right. Not really a lot of action on the chart, but you have to take in consideration it was up over 13% during the regular session today. So that's, I mean, it had a big day. Maybe that would, like I said, I don't know if it was insiders or what buying this up, because they didn't report the earnings until after the close. So maybe the move was getting priced in, and now it's just kind of flat in after hours. But their earnings look decent. They got positive net income. They beat revenue. They increased the remainder of Q1 guidance from 369 million to 371 million. And the earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, 61.2 million to 61.8 million. They also increased the fiscal year revenue, Tammy. It was 1.74 billion. They increased it to 1.76 billion. Same thing on the fiscal year adjusted earnings before interest and taxes and depreciation. So let's find out when they're going to do their call. It's almost 4:30 here. Maybe Tammy, you might want to watch that if you got a position with them right now. Let's find out. This is their earnings, or I'm sorry, their investor relations link. Let's see. Yeah, Tammy, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, I mean, the intraday move it made today over 13%. I'm kind of thinking their good earnings maybe got priced in during the regular session today. It's pulling back a little bit right now, but if you take into consideration the intraday move they had today, they're still very positive on the day. Even if you subtract out, they're down 3% in after hours. Okay, so what? They're still up 10% on the day. That's fine. So just kind of see there's a little bit of selling coming in here, but they did increase the guidance and they did beat revenue forecasts. Let's find out when they're going to do their call events right here. Okay, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. So this actually starts in 2 minutes. Here's the direct link to that as well. Let me go back here. Just want to look at Amazon real quick. Does everyone see SPY closed the regular session pretty well today. Let me go back here. Yeah, kind of ran into the close a little bit, but nice and bright green day by the indexes, S&P, NASDAQ, and Dow, all bright green. VIX back below 20. 10-year yield was up a little bit. The dollar was up a little bit. Overall, bullish day. Overall, bullish day. Looking at SPY and Triple Q right now. I did enter an Amazon spread earlier. I suppose we can wrap up the stream with that. And this is what it looks like here. Let me see what the price was. Let me get rid of these because this is just the program I used to build it out. But what we did was we opened a bull put spread on Amazon. I sold to open the 202.50 put, and I bought to open the $200 put. Very high chance of profit, so high probability to trade. The expiration date was March 6th. I personally got filled in the 50s on this per spread, and you know, I think it's a solid trade. We basically just want Amazon to stay above 201.85. Well, that would be the break even if you got filled at 65. But basically, I just want Amazon to stay above my spread. Let me put it that way. So my short strike's at 202.50. My long strike's at 200. It's a $2.50 wide spread. So you need $250 in buying power for each one. And yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I was basing it off the daily chart on Amazon. I know I had a pretty green day today, but so did the overall market. But the daily chart looks very, very interesting. This is the thesis behind my trade here. So Amazon obviously sold off for earnings. We all saw that. Now there's two gaps on Amazon's daily chart. You see these two gaps? So that's interesting for a nice bull trade there. And almost looks like a kind of like a lopsided inverse head and shoulders here on the daily chart, don't it? So this would be like the left shoulder, and you got the head, and then you got the right shoulder. So of course, an inverse head and shoulders is a bullish signal. Kind of an ugly looking one, but it's there nonetheless. And now Amazon has two gaps to fill on the upside. So I feel pretty good, not financial advice, just my opinion, that the selling on Amazon is probably over with. It's starting to spit out some nice looking green candles now after it sold off. Amazon was in the mid 200s before this negative earnings reaction. So, you know, that's what I like to do. I like to, you know, just because it sells off for earnings don't mean you jump right in. I like to wait for higher lows to form or some other technical patterns to form. This is kind of like an ugly inverse head and shoulders, but it's there. Finally got some green candles printing in succession. There was this nice sized green candle that printed right after their earnings, but obviously that ended up not being the low. It ended up coming down another 4 or 5 points. So, but now we got some green candles printing in succession. So there's obviously some institutions or hedge funds or big money, whatever, market makers that are starting to scoop this up. Looks like the dip buy was around 195. But yeah, you know, anything in the low 200s, I mean, there's money to be made on this now. And it's Amazon, for crying out loud. You know, they're not going nowhere. And there's two gaps to fill on the upside. I put my put credit spread right below this right shoulder here. Okay, so you see the wick from yesterday and the wick from today. There's obviously some buying going in at that level around 203. So we'll see, you know, and if Amazon does come down to retest these two wicks that just printed, you know, I'll be keeping my eye on it. If that happens, and might have to manage the trade, maybe I'll cut the short loose and let the long leg run or something. But we'll see. I do like the candle it printed today. It's nice and green, has a decent body on it. And it's kind of like a bullish sandwich here where you get the big green candle, then you get a red one, and then a sandwich with another greenie. So, you know, I'm thinking there's the buyers are still in control of this price action here. And again, we got these two gaps on the upside now from looks like from the earnings. Now, do these gaps always fill right away? No. You know, sometimes weeks or even months go by before gaps get filled. Other times they fill pretty quickly, you know, so we don't know, but the setup's there for a nice trade on Amazon. And the good thing about my bull put spread is it's also a neutral trade, because if you know, anytime it's a credit spread, we don't actually need the underlying stock price to move. You could just trade sideways and we'll make the money on the theta value. As people know us contract writers as theta traders, if you will, right? But yeah, just wanted to share that trade. I opened up this afternoon. I alerted it in real time to my Discord members, and I love the setup. I think Amazon's got some upside potential in the near future here. Now that the earnings is out of the way, the selling from the earnings looks like it's stopped. You know, on the bigger time frames, it's looking like it's slow. It's stopped, or at least slowed down. I'm thinking it's probably over. The selling might be over with here. And could be a nice trade to the upside on Amazon. So that's what I got for today. But yeah, had a lot of fun. Got over 300 people tuning in. I do these streams every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for earnings. Tomorrow is the big earnings day with NVIDIA. And then of course, Salesforce is also reporting tomorrow, and Snow. So three popular companies reporting tomorrow after the close. So I'm looking forward to streaming that. My name's The Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. If you're looking for a free watch list, we do send out a free watch list every morning. That gets be delivered to your inbox every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Check that first link in the description, and you can sign up for that free watch list, and it doesn't cost anything, okay? And also, if you're interested, if you're looking for a new home, check out our Discord. You can also join the Discord for free and see how you like it. And there's also a Discord link in the description where you can join for free. But yeah, other than that, my name's The Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. And until next time, I'll see everyone in the very next stream. Cheers, y'all. Bye.